Alright, so in front of me today, I have a tier list. A tier list of every single NFL team. And today, I'm going to predict how good I think they're going to do in the 2023 to 2024 season. So I'm basically predicting the record. So, yeah, without any further ado, and also, my cat is sitting in my... I'm sorry if the mic just moves randomly. My cat is sitting in my lap, and he won't cooperate with me. But anyways, without any further ado, like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. Alright. So let's go through the tiers real quick. So up here at the top, we've got Super Bowl contenders. These are teams that I feel like have a pretty good chance of making the Super Bowl. Next, we have playoff spot. These are teams that I feel like will definitely probably have a playoff spot, but they may not go any further than that. Maybe a wild card exit or a divisional round exit, you know. Just teams that have the potential to be in the playoffs. And then we've got mid. These are teams that are mid. Next up, we've got bad. These are teams that are just not good, but I mean, they're not the worst. And then we've got, as me and my coworkers say, atrocious. AKA the Arizona Cardinals. Putting them in atrocious. They're just not good. They don't have anybody. Their defense sucks. All they have is Buda Baker, and he wants to leave. I don't even know what receivers they have. Who do they have? Rondale Moore? They have Rondale Moore, James Conner, and Kyler Murray. That's their whole offense. So, yeah, not exactly a recipe for success, but, you know, maybe they're able to squeeze 3-4 games out. Maybe 5 if they're lucky. But overall, I just feel like they're probably going to have the number 1 pick at the end of the season. Next up, we've got the Atlanta Falcons. This is kind of an interesting one. I think that the Falcons will be mid. I don't think they'll be bad by any means. They've got a new quarterback with Desmond Ridder. I mean, he played a little bit last year, but he's pretty new. Their wide receiver core is I'm still a little bit iffy on. They've got Drake London. Who else do they even have? Oh, Drake London, Mac Hollins, Scotty Miller. Wait, they got Scotty Miller? Sure enough. Okay, that's not a bad receiver core, but it doesn't scream top 10. It doesn't even scream top 20 to me. I mean, I feel like they're okay. They've got a pretty good offense. They've got a good run game to balance it out. So I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. But overall, I see them getting 7, 8 wins, maybe 6 if they start to slip in the final parts of the season. Next up, we've got the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens. Super Bowl contenders, and here's why. Lamar Jackson just got paid. He's got his money. All of the, beef that he's had with the Ravens organization is behind him. He got his bag. He secured his money. He's got all of the weapons he needs with Odell, them signing Odell, drafting Zay Flowers, and also, who I do think is going to be an immediate starter, by the way. And also, they still have Rashad Bateman, who I still think is a great wide receiver. And they've still got Mark Andrews. And all of that is going to take attention off Lamar Jackson. And I think that that's great for that team because they're not one-dimensional anymore. They've got a good run game as well. They established that, I feel like, late last season. And I think that if their defense plays well, and I truly believe that they will, with them signing Roquan Smith, and they still got a really good secondary, I just feel like they definitely have a chance at a Super Bowl as long as they stay healthy. Injuries, we've seen injuries plague this team in the past, and I think that if they stay healthy, they're definitely a Super Bowl contender. Next up, we've got the Bills Mafia. I'm going to put them as Super Bowl contenders. Now, I don't think they'll be as good as the Ravens, actually. But as long as they have Josh Allen on their team, they're a Super Bowl contender. Their run game is still a little bit iffy, so that's definitely a major concern, but their defense is still one of the best in the league, I believe. So as long as they've got all of those, they're definitely Super Bowl contenders. And I hope that they're finally able to put it together and make it this year. All right, next up, we've got the Carolina Panthers. This is kind of an interesting one, I'm not going to lie. I feel like they're a potential playoff spot, I'm not going to lie. I think that they've got a great roster. They made some massive moves this season. They did get rid of DJ Moore, but they got a boatload of picks for it. I think that they're a good team. I think that they've definitely got a very balanced offense now. You know, with them, they got Adam Thielen. They got that dude from Ole Miss. They drafted him. They still have DJ Chark. I think that he's pretty good. And I think that Bryce Young has enough weapons that he needs, but I don't think that it's going to be entirely on him. They've got a decent run game. And I think their defense is pretty underrated. I'm not going to lie. I feel like they get a lot of crap. I feel like no one really talks about the Panthers, but I think that they definitely have a chance to play out, especially playing the NFC South, which is arguably going to be the worst division in football this season. So, yeah, I think they've definitely got the chance to squeeze into the playoffs. Next up, we've got the Chicago Bears. I will say mid. I was debating between mid and bad. They're definitely not making the playoffs. I can tell you that right now. They've made some moves. I'll give them that. They've got a really good receiver core. They've got a top 5 wide receiver core in football right now, I believe. Justin Fields has the weapons that he needs. They've got to balance that out with the run game. Their offensive line is still terrible. I think that even with the addition of Darnell Wright, I still think their offensive line is going to be terrible, and I think that Justin Fields is going to be running for his life on most plays, just like he was last year. Now, maybe their running game can balance it out. They did lose David Montgomery, but I do like Khalil Herbert, and I think they did get Donta Foreman, so I think that their running game will be all right, and their defense, I don't like I think that their defense is going to be pretty bad. Anyways, Bears are mid. They're between mid and bad. Honestly, they're interchangeable. Take your pick. I'll put them at mid because I see them winning 7 games, maybe, max. Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that they're a playoff spot. This is tough. I'm going to go Super Bowl contenders. They are. They still are. They haven't really lost anything since last year. They've still got the best wide receiver trio in football, in my opinion. And they've got a really good run game with Joe Mixon. If everybody can stay healthy and they can stop Joe Burrow from getting murdered, then I think that they've got a real shot at the Super Bowl. Their offensive line is still bad, just like the Bears, even though they did make some moves this offseason. Maybe they can put it all together this year, but the AFC just looks very talented this year, so it's gonna be a tough job. But if they stay healthy, then maybe they can make it to the Super Bowl. Cleveland Browns. Oh, this is hard because I want them to do well so bad, but they're just in such a good division. I'll put them in mid. And here's why. I think that Deshaun Watson is good. I don't believe that he's the answer. I think that he's all right, but I just don't really think he fits their scheme. He could prove me wrong, 100%. I'm just a guy behind a computer screen with a microphone, so I don't know, but I don't know. I just think with all that time off and just with everything that's going on, I don't know if he's the same anymore as he was the first 3 or 4 years he played. Nick Chubb is still elite. I still love Nick Chubb. I think he's a top 3 running back in the league right now. Their receiver core is really good with the addition of Elijah Moore especially, and they still have Amari Cooper. I think that they still have a very high-powered offense. It's just if Deshaun Watson can deliver. So I'll put them at mid. It's tough because I want them to do well, but they're just in such a good division this year, I feel like. Next up, we have the 49ers. I mean, I got to put them up there. There's just no other way to put it. I hate the 49ers. I despise them with a passion, being a Packers fan, but they're good. They're good. They've got the best offense in football, and I have no problem saying that, no matter who's a quarterback. And their defense is still monstrous. Even if Nick Bosa isn't out there, their defense is still fantastic. They've got a really, really good group back there, and they're Super Bowl contenders. And this is the year that they could put it together because the NFC is pretty weak. All right, so I'm currently post-editing process right now, and we're about 9 minutes in with this video, and we're through 8 teams, so this video would be 40 minutes long if I continued it like this. And I'm gonna be honest, I really don't feel like editing this anymore. So this is the final list right here. I'm just gonna go through the teams and what I thought and what I think just real quick.
Jaguars. I said they had a high-powered offense, and I think that they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win their division. Chiefs, they're the same as last year. They can duplicate their success. Eagles, also same thing. They've only gotten better. They're going to duplicate their success. Cowboys, they got a good roster. It all depends on if Dak plays well. Lions, they've got a very high-powered offense still, even with the loss of Jamal Williams. And their defense is pretty good, too. So I think they're going to win the North. Packers I'd probably put down in mid. I've got too many teams up in the playoff and Super Bowl spots, so I'd probably put them down in mid. I'd probably put the Panthers down in mid as well. Packers, it all depends on how Jordan Love plays and how the receivers are able to cope with, being so new to the league. Chargers I feel like will be pretty good. They'll squeak in behind the Chiefs probably because I like Herbert, and they drafted Jordan Addison. They've still got a good offense and a good defense, good secondary. And they've just got a really good roster all around. Dolphins, it all depends on how Tua plays. They've got one of the best rosters in the league as well. They added Jalen Ramsey, and they've got an extremely high-powered offense still. It all depends on how Tua can play. Same thing with the Saints. All depends on how Derek Carr plays. Jets, they're probably going to be good. As much as I don't want them to be, as an avid Aaron Rodgers hater and disliker, I hope they're bad, but realistically they're probably going to be pretty good. Seahawks will probably be just as good as last year. They've got the receivers, and I think that they'll be just as good. Titans, they'll be mid. They're mid every season. They don't do anything of note. They make it to the playoffs, and then they lose. That's just the handbook when you have Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. And they also might be the first team to ever commit a murder on Derrick Henry's legs. And the Rams, I feel like the Rams will be a little bit better than last year. I think last year was kind of a fluke how they were so bad, but I think they'll be a little bit better this year, but not too good. Raiders, I feel like they'll be okay. It all depends on how Jimmy Garoppolo plays, and I don't think that their defense is that good, so I don't really believe in Jimmy Garoppolo either, but I haven't really seen much from him. Broncos is kind of a tough one. I feel like they're either going to be really good or really mid. I don't think they'll be really bad. I think that Russell Wilson had a bad year last year, and he also had a terrible coaching staff. I don't like Nathaniel Hackett. I think he's a sausage head at play calling. So yeah, they're probably either going to be pretty good or pretty mid. Giants, I feel like will be mid again. They gained some receiver help, but I don't know. There's something there that I can't see them being a high-powered team, even if they did make it to the divisional round last year. Steelers, I feel like will be kind of mid. It really depends on how Kenny Pickett plays, because they've got a good offense and they've got a really good defense. It just depends on how Kenny Pickett's able to adjust in his second year. Texans, they're pretty good. I would say that I haven't seen much. I think they'll be decent. I just haven't seen enough from them to put them in a good category or anything like that. And with the way that CJ Stroud was playing yesterday, then I don't know. Colts, I don't know about the Colts. I just don't think the Colts will be that good. Simple as that. Vikings will be trash. Mark my words. They've only gotten worse with losing Dalvin Cook. They're one-dimensional now. All you got to do is double cover Justin Jefferson and the game's over. Bucks, I think, will be bad because they've got Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Moving on. Commanders, I don't know if Sam Howell's going to be able to do a lot in his first full year as a starting quarterback. Maybe he'll be really good. Maybe he won't. We'll have to see, but for now I have to put them in bad. They're in rebuild mode. They just got a new owner, and I'm not going to put them winning 10 games, especially being in the same division as the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Giants. And then we got the Patriots, who I think will be the worst team in the league this year. Yes, I said it. I think that they will be really, 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 really bad. For the first time in Bill Belichick's career, they'll be really bad. And yeah, they've got nothing. And I think they'll be the worst team in the league. I think them and the Cardinals will compete pretty well for that spot. And anyways, that's the whole list. I'm sorry I couldn't, make the entire list. There's some hot takes I would have liked y'all to see, but I feel like we got a decent amount of funny moments and stuff from the first parts of the video. In all seriousness, I'm just really tired of editing this video, and I want to get it out to the public. Sorry I haven't posted for a while. Just haven't really been super motivated to post, but maybe like this video and I'll post more. Other than that, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more NFL content, and I will see you in the next one. I love you. Goodbye.